Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video we're going to be unboxing and taking a brief look at the all-new Google Pixel 7 Pro, and I'll be explaining why I decided to return this phone after just a day of use. However, before we get into that, let's take a look at the unboxing. So when I actually ordered the Pixel 7 Pro, I also ordered two accessories, the 30-watt USB charging brick as well as the Pixel 7 Pro case, as I felt like I would need them for this phone, especially because 1, I don't want to break it, and 2, it does not come with a charging brick in the box. I ordered the 128GB Obsidian version after I saw how much trade-in value I could get for my Galaxy S20, which basically slashed the price of this phone in half. I was really surprised to see that Google went with an iPhone-like unboxing approach. In fact, this box is extremely similar to one that would be found on an iPhone, just without that charger, and the design of the box in general highly resembles the iPhone. So here we are, we're going to go ahead and lift the top off of this box, and there is the Google Pixel 7 Pro in Obsidian. First impressions, I love this design. Just the way that camera ledge comes out of the phone and the color of this phone, I love it. This phone, so far, the design is amazing. However, we're going to go ahead and put the phone aside and get into the actual box of the Pixel 7 Pro. So in the box, we actually only get two accessories. We get the USB-C to USB-C charging cable, which is wrapped exactly like an iPhone's would, and we also get a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which can be convenient for like using USB sticks transferring files, but I don't see why it's necessary. I'd rather have a USB-C to headphone. And then, of course, we get the Google packet of information, which also included a SIM card tool, which I really liked. But this is just your standard typical phone paperwork that no one really reads. They just take it out just for no reason. So the first thing that struck me when I took this phone out of the box was how much bigger it is compared to my Galaxy S20. On camera, it might not seem like it's that much bigger, but in hand, it feels so much bigger, and I wasn't sure how to feel about this. I knew that the Pixel 7 Pro would be larger than my Galaxy S20, I even measured it out on paper, but it didn't feel like it would be this big, which is one of my reasons that I'll talk about later in this video. However, now we're going to go ahead and peel the white plastic paper protective film off the display and hold the power button to turn the phone on. The bright white turning on screen was very blinding, but luckily when you change the phone into dark mode, it does actually change the boot up animation to a darker animation. So once we wait for this Google Pixel to go ahead and turn on, it's just I keep looking at this phone and feeling how large it is. But while we wait for it to turn on, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Pixel 7 Pro case, which was official from Google. I believe it was about $30, and we're going to take it out of the box. It's wrapped in a paper-like material, so no plastic on this one. We can go ahead and rip it up in half and take a look at that case. So after a few days of using the case, I can say that this case attracts a lot of fingerprints, but it is very protective. It's a very nice case. It just gets a lot of fingerprints and stuff on it. So now we're going to go ahead and put that Pixel 7 Pro case on the Pixel 7 Pro, and we're going to proceed through setup. It was really easy to get on, however, trying to get it off later, it kind of proved challenging. Not as easy as my Galaxy S20, but nonetheless, let's take a look at the 7 Pro. And just that camera bar looks really good to me, and I love it a lot. This design of the phone is really great. I even love the curved display, which was controversial for many, but I love this curved display on my S20, and I love it on the Pixel 7 Pro. So going ahead and connecting to my Wi-Fi network, which I took off screen because I don't need you to see my Wi-Fi password, we're going to go ahead and go through the getting your phone ready setup through Google. I did not put my SIM card in this step just because I was filming and I didn't want to do that. But once again, just looking at that camera bar, it looks gorgeous. This phone is amazing. There is a ledge on the case, so the screen won't actually scratch against the table if you put it face down. Back to the phone itself, we can choose to copy apps and data, which I did not because every time I get a new phone, I like to go through and see what apps I actually use, what I don't use, and install them manually. Through the Pixel 7 Pro setup, there is a lot of just waiting around. It goes through a lot of checking processes and things like that. However, now it's time for Google Sign-In. And now we're going to take a look at the under-screen optical fingerprint scanner, which is another one of my points, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It is an optical fingerprint scanner and not an ultrasonic, which for some might not be a big deal, but once again, we're just going to go through the setup. It was a little bit picky during the actual setup of the phone, but once I got everything registered and ready to go, my fingerprint worked flawlessly going through and signing into the phone itself. And that was it. The Pixel 7 Pro was now set up and ready to go. So now it's just going through the gestures, which I've never actually had a gesture bar on a phone before, so I decided to go through the tutorial, but it wouldn't work with what I wanted it to do. So I went ahead and skipped it because I'm sure I could figure out how to use it on my own. And here we are, the Google Pixel 7 Pro, ready to go. So now, after using the Pixel 7 Pro for a whole day, here's my opinions and why I'm returning this phone. So first of all, I want to talk about the design. I absolutely love the design of my very fingerprinted Google Pixel 7 Pro. Just the way that the display curves, the shape of the phone, as well as that camera bar, I love the way that this phone looks. However, the big issue, which is totally my fault and my total personal opinion, I don't like how big this phone is. When I bought my S20, I purposely stayed away from the S20 FE, S20 Plus, and the S20 Ultra because I hated how big they were. I knew this phone would be bigger, however, I didn't expect it to be this big, which again, totally my fault, my personal opinion. I hate gigantic phones like these, and it feels so uncomfortable in the hand. So much that I was dreading picking it up and using it. The next thing is the optical fingerprint scanner. As you can see, when I put my finger on the scanner on the Pixel 7 Pro, it lights up. That's because optical fingerprint scanners require that light to be able to use the fingerprint scanner, versus ultrasonic does not give off that light, which, total personal preference, they both work exactly the same. And also, the volume buttons being in a totally awkward place in pretty much the very center of the right side of the phone, that was really weird. Now, here's some of my issues with the Google Pixel software. Keep in mind, I used an Essential phone for about 2 years, which ran stock Android. My main problem is this bar on the bottom. This bar on the bottom is static on the display, and as you can see, it creates a whole separate section of the display, and it never goes away. The only way to change it is to switch it to the buttons, versus on my Galaxy S20, I have that bar hidden. And as you can see, it's a Samsung exclusive feature where if I swipe up on the left side, I get the task switcher. If I swipe up in the middle, I go home. And if I swipe up on the right, I go back. The next thing is the back button. On my Galaxy S20, I simply swipe up on the right to go back. Versus in the Pixel 7 Pro, the only way that I can figure out how to go back is to set up an edge gesture on both the left and the right side. So to go back, I have to swipe over from either the left or the right edge of the display, which I personally do not like that at all. Now here's the one thing I really love about this phone, and that is the camera. There are 3 cameras on the Pixel 7 Pro, and they all do amazing things. Today, we're just going to be exhibiting a few of them in this test scenario. First of all, the 30 times zoom, which the Galaxy S20 can do 30 times zoom. However, it is not as good as it is on the Pixel 7. The Pixels have always been known for their camera quality, and it really shines here. That zoom, just look how clear that is. It is an amazing zoom, an amazing camera, period. This is a picture that I took with portrait mode, which again is also on the S20, but this is clearer and it rendered better results, in my opinion. Also, macro mode. So we can see when we put our phone up to a closer object, it switches lenses and turns into macro mode. Very sharp, up-close shots with the Pixel 7 Pro. Pretty cool. And lastly, again, very minor things, however, the emojis. Maybe it's just because I'm used to the emojis on Samsung, but the emojis on the Pixel 7 and stock Android in general, I think are horrible. I don't use them, but I have to see them in apps that use them. So overall, there is nothing wrong with the Pixel 7 Pro that I've had. I've seen other people have defects like dead pixels and all kinds of stuff, but I'm sure Google's resolving that either by sending them a new phone or just outright issuing a software update to fix software-based issues. However, it's my personal opinion, and I just personally don't like the Pixel 7 Pro. And before any Pixel fan people come attack me, I just want to let you know that I'm in no way insulting Google or blaming Google for any of this. This is 100% my personal opinion, and for me to buy a phone that's going to be in my hand a lot for the next 2 years, I feel like I should be able to have something that I actually enjoy and something that I like to use. And so with that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.